It might not be the most glorious of weather, but the prospect of a good day's fishing is all I ever ask. I'm Bob Nudd, and for me, course angling is simply a way of life. And having been world champion on no less than 4 occasions, I think I'm starting to get the hang of things. It's true what they say, if you make your living doing what you love, you'll never have to do a day's work. And I couldn't agree more. Wherever I go, there's always fish just waiting to be caught. From commercial fisheries to the fast-flowing River Severn, there will be bream, roach, rudd and tench to look out for. But for now, I'll settle for the match angler's favourite, the F1 taking my bait. It's a mild autumn day. There's cloud cover, a hint of sunshine, but come rain or shine, I've got my trusty white cap to keep the glare of the sun out of my eyes or the rain off my head. It's about 11 degrees. Because we've had cloud cover, it means that there's been no frost overnight, which is good for fishing. Not always the prettiest time to fish because there's not so much light, but still, this time of the year, it's best if you've got cloud cover. The wind is from the northwest, which is a little bit cold, but I'm sure that I'm going to catch fish. If we look out onto the lake, this is called the Match Lake. And the area I've selected is the deepest part of the lake. It's about 4 feet deep. There's a gully, a channel that runs down through the middle here. And so as the temperatures go down, the water temperatures drop, then the fish move into this area. I'm going to look to catch carp, F1 carp, which are a hybrid carp, plus maybe some mirror and common carp. There's lots and lots of fish in here. And I'm going to look to feed them with pellets. It's going to be a pellet attack today with hard pellets for feeding and soft pellets to catch the fish. I'm excited, really excited. Let's go and get my gear. I'm fishing for carp on the bottom, so I need to put some feed that will go in and onto the bottom. Just a few 4mm pellets. Only about half a cup. With fishing, particularly when it gets colder, you never know how much to feed. So I always err on the lower side and then increase it as the bites come. So just a half a pot of feed. I've picked a marker on the far bank, and that pole cup will give me exact, precise feed in there, exactly where I'm going to fish. And sprinkle those pellets on the water, let them make a bit of noise. Fish love noise, they're attracted by noise, and come round to feed. Now the pellets I've selected to fish with today, these are the feed pellets. They're 4mm and they're a hard pellet. You can't hook them, so you use them just for feeding. And I've also done the pellets for the hook. These are called expander pellets. There's quite a variety there. There's some big 6mm darkish ones. There's some darker 4mm ones, smaller ones, and there's some very light coloured 4mm there. And these pellets are specially prepared in a pump. You use a vacuum pump to suck the air out of the pellet, suck the water, and I've put some additive in there. I've put some, my favourite, Scopex carp attractor. I've put that in there as well to help me catch the fish. But these are ultra soft, and the carp love to feed on these. This is their favourite food in this type of water. This is what they're brought up on. This is what they eat. Now I'm going to catch one. I'm going to try one of these lighter 4mm pellets first. Always good to start off on the small size. Just tease it round and almost bury the hook inside it. And each time I fish, I've got a small pot, just a tiny pot on the end of my pole. It's called a sprinkle pot. And it does exactly that. Just to sprinkle a few of those 4mm hard feed pellets each time that I fish. So every time I go in now, I'm going to feed at the same time. Just nice. You have to be a bit steady as you go out with that pot, that you keep it. Once you get out where you're fishing, you can then just tilt over and you'll see that it does exactly that. The bait will just sprinkle out of the top. Just sprinkle out around the float area. That is perfect feeding. Just a few of those pellets. There's quite a few carp in here, various sorts, so it shouldn't take too long for them to find it. Oh, that one. That was a bite. It just hooked itself, it shot off. I've got a number 12 elastic in there. It's a hollow elastic. I just love carp fishing. Ah, the first carp of the day, and it's so quick. How long did that take? The elastic's doing its job. The elastic is a shock absorber. I've got a fairly light line on there, but it's still difficult for a fish to break your line because of the elastic. Just stretches. Oh, beautiful little carp. Lovely. Almost looks like a crucian carp, but this, oh, probably nearly £2. This I know is an F1. And it really took that bait, only just lip hooked. Just there. But it hooked itself. First fish of the day. What a beautiful looking fish. Perfect. Look at that tail. Massive fan tail. That's where they get their power from. Fantastic start.
In my search for F1s, which are a cross between the common and the crucian carp, I've come to the heart of the Worcestershire countryside and the fabulous Larford Lakes complex. This really is a match or pleasure angler's paradise, where weights of 100 pounds plus are regularly achieved in fiercely contested competitions. Although I'm targeting F1s, there are plenty of fine specimens to be had from this well-stocked water, including big carp. Now I know that there are plenty of complaints levelled at commercial fisheries, with accusations of them being characterless holes in the ground. But at Larford Lakes, you can see for yourself just how it should be done. In a beautiful setting, with abundant wildlife, as well as great fishing, you really are in for a treat, especially as they make an excellent bacon sandwich into the bargain. Meanwhile, back at my peg,
Seems to be a load of fish out there, just in and there, straight away. Feels like a carp. They fight differently. All carp. Some carp fight harder than others, but as it gets colder, they don't seem to be or to fight quite as well as they do in the summer. It's fantastic fishing, just straight out at another fish. Oh, look at that. That's bigger than the last one. Didn't seem to fight quite as hard, but well over £2, that one. I'm going to have to use my disgorger on it as well. It's just inside the mouth. It's fighting harder now. Now I've got it in my hands. Oh, that's typical, that is. Oh. Right, another lovely carp. There. Look at that. You can tell it's an F1 because there's just tiny barbels. Just look at its mouth. It looks like a common carp, but that is an F1. Beautiful fish. How can I catch a bigger one? It's probably the water temperature. Those F1s are the first to feed, and then the bigger carp usually start to feed later. But they can feed in real colder temperatures. I'm going to try one of the 6mm pellets, the bigger pellets. Although they're all so greedy, those F1s, they'll probably take this as well. All the time sprinkling I'm getting lots of bites, so I'll probably increase that feed a bit each time. Just start to put more and more of those feed pellets in. And this is a lovely way to feed, just with a small pot, so every time you go out, there's some feed going into the area, dropping through the water and attracting more and more fish. Look at that, how it sprinkles around. Got that big pellet. What's going to happen this time? Will I get a bite straight away? It's been almost instant. Oh, the bigger pellet worked. Wow, surprised me. It feels like a bigger fish. Is it a bigger fish? Or just is it a stronger F1? Will I land it or will it get off? Come back after the break.
I'm in Worcestershire fishing for F1s and hoping I'm on the home straight.
I put on that big pellet in the hope of a bigger fish, but it seems to have worked. This is why elastic is so good. How you can use it. Oh dear. You see, that line I've got on there is only just over £2. And look how much elastic is out. As long as you get the balance right. This feels like a really good fish. Is it a good fish? What is it? The unknown. I love it. And I'll unship here just still to try and keep some control over the fish. Still don't know what it is. Lovely big swirl there. So fish, sometimes if you get a powerful fish, you just can't get them in. You just can't drag it in. You've got to play the fish, trying to keep the fish away from my feed area. So I've brought it in, keep it away from the feed area, and then let the elastic do its job. Gradually as I come in, I'm lifting the pole up to put more pressure on the fish. This will be I'd imagine a mirror or a common carp. They fight a little bit harder. Oh, this is fantastic fishing. Plum, the swim came alive so quickly and the fish are there. Just shows you the pellet attack. Yeah, it's a lovely big mirror carp, this one. The fishery itself has got a good head of fish, and they're all in superb condition. See how much harder they fight. Just cannot pull them in because of the power. I think that's why people love fishing for carp. Pound for pound, they are a very powerful fish. Imagine if you had a £3 roach, I don't think it'd fight like that. Mind you, I'd love to catch a £3 roach. There, safely in the net. Oh, that is a big, big fish. Oh, it's so quick. Look at that. Oh, that is a beauty, bigger than I thought. No wonder it shot off. And it wanted that big pellet. I'll take the hook out while it's in. The fish is in the net. Once again, just hooked in the lip. Couldn't resist that big 8mm pearl. Could it? There. Well, it was a 6mm pearl, but by the time you blow them up, they're much bigger. Look at this fish. That is a beauty. A mirror carp and lovely orange and gold and oh, there. Try and hold that up. That is some fish. What a superb specimen. Look at it. All power, power. Lovely. Oh, what a fight. That was a real scrap. They can go straight back. With bigger fish, it's always best to try to return them in the net. Just safer for the fish. There. Away it goes. What tackle did I use to catch that big fish? You'll be surprised. The hook was only a size 18, quite a small hook. I'm looking for bites today, really, and so you keep your stuff fairly light. The line, only £2.5 breaking strain. That's 0.12 millimetre. A high-tech line. Always use a high-tech line when you're fishing a pole and elastic. The elastic does the stretching, you don't want the line to stretch, so that's pre-stretched and you can catch more fish like that. And then spaced out on the line, I've just got some small shots, number 11, they're called stots. They're like a little elongated shot. There you are. 6 of those just spaced out to let the pellet flutter down slowly through the water. Then it's very, very light. They can see the bait as it drops through. Up to the float. Those 6 number 11s relate to about 0.15 of a gram. Good thick bristle on there so that you can see it. You always need to see your float. If you can't see the bites, you can't hit the bites. You don't know what's happening. So you need to see your float, balsa body and carbon for the actual stem there. Up to the elastic, there's a connector, and then a number 12 elastic. It's a hollow elastic. Hollow elastics are more forgiving, they stretch further, so I like to use them for carp. Use a hollow elastic. Doesn't matter how long you take to land the fish, the elastic is doing the job. You get the excitement from playing the fish. And then down to the pole cup itself, the little pot, the sprinkle pot, hole in the top where I can feed the pellets and then sprinkle them out to feed the fish. They drop through and you imagine your float just below it. The fish can't resist it. You can see. Big pellets worked again. Oh, these fish are fighting so hard. I think it's just another one of those F1s, but it took that big pellet. Yeah, just another one of those F1s. There's so many there now. There's a real mixture of fish here now. Yeah, another one of these beautiful, beautiful F1s. Oh, this is an all-action day. Lovely. Ah, really, they're all very, very similar looking. Most people would think, they're just common carp, but they're not. These are F1s. F1s means first breed, really. It means the first cross. Was well held. They fight as much when they're out of the water as they do when they're in it, so I'll keep the net there. There. Lovely fish. Beautiful fish. An F1. No barbels on the front. It's the only way you can really tell it. The rest of it you'd say, that's a common carp.
If you're wondering where to fish for F1s, wherever you happen to live, the good news is that they can be found in many waters all around Great Britain. Introduced to fisheries as an all-year-round species, this hybrid, a cross between a common and a crucian carp, is well represented and will respond to all your favourite carp angling tactics. For pole fishing, these tough, resilient F1s only grow to a maximum of 10 pounds in weight, so can be safely brought to the bank on lighter tackle. It's also a fantastic all-year-round species, as F1s will feed even in the coldest weather and are guaranteed to make an appearance when other fish make themselves scarce. Whether you're using pellets, maggots, casters or bread, the F1s will always put up a spirited fight, and for novice anglers can be a great species to start off with before progressing to the wilier old carp and the more challenging crucians.
More pellets in that pot now. Lots of fish there, so I'm stepping up and being more and more aggressive with the feed. Just to get bigger fish there. Perfect way to feed. Look at that. See why they call it a sprinkle pot? Just sprinkle all the bait around your float. And then the lovely soft pellet is right in the middle of those. That didn't take very long. Another good fish, always good fish. Oh, I just love these fish. Plenty of control. Like that number 12 elastics will handle these sort of fish, well, normally quite easily. It's what happens, like, you can get them sort of almost in and then they shoot off. Whew, it's been a great session, not a long session because it's all action, but I think this will be a good one to finish the programme on. Look how they scrap, they all fight differently. And this is a beautiful looking fish. Oh. Yeah. Non-stop action, catching carp on soft pellets, feeding with, can I hold that one up? Feeding with 4mm hard pellets, catching with those big soft pellets, and look at the beautiful fish. Look at the lateral line there, dead straight and black, and that is a perfect example of an F1. Solid muscle, just a lovely fish. Put him back in the net. What a cracking session. All action, loads of fish, mainly F1s, but oh dear. Just shows you the power of the pellet and carp. Fabulous, fabulous fishing.